Welcome back to the Nobody Asked For This podcast. Welcome back to the Nobody Asked For This podcast, as I just so beautifully sang. It is a ripe 9:39, forgive me, a.m. Beautiful morning in May. I'm sipping out of the Santa mug that I believe I mentioned a few weeks ago. But of course, no one would have known that because that episode received zero viewership, which is I feel like I harp on that too much because it's like kind of funny, but I'm scared that it comes off as me being serious. So I'm just going to do the very quick reminder that I do in every episode that I realize that no one listens to this. It's not like it's sad. Like I'm not like when I'm talking to people, you know, like saying, oh, what is everyone doing this weekend? Like I know it's not, there's no one on the receiving end of those questions. I just feel better saying that. It feels less embarrassing. I just get that out of the way and then we can move on. So I will not mention my lack of viewers again. Okay? But yeah, I hope everybody, again, see, everybody's not everybody. I get it. I hope everyone had a great week. Spring is very springing. It's looking very springful. If I do say so myself, I'm looking outside and it almost looks like summer. The problem here, I don't know if this is in many parts of the world. I don't know if this is a me problem, but I feel like spring is a lost art. You know, there was a time where we went from winter and then we had spring, and it was actual spring. It was like maybe high teens, low 20s. If you're a Fahrenheit person, let me do some quick math. Times 2 plus 10. It would be like 60s. Yeah, in the 60s, like 55 to 70. Or like you don't really need like a winter coat, but maybe you'll use like a nice plaid. Like you'll take a plaid shirt and then kind of just wear it in the morning and then maybe tie it around your waist in the afternoon. What I've started to do is my normal professional outfit would be like my $16 fancy businessy pants from Walmart, or my fancy businessy pants from Costco. Obviously, like some sort of an undershirt and then like a button up. Now, what I've started to do in the spring months is I'll just unbutton the button up, just to get some airflow. So that's like the spring version of and then the summer version, I haven't fully worked out yet. It's probably just going to be, I'm going to have to get some short sleeve shirts because it's getting hot up here. Apparently it's going to be in the 30s next week or this week or something. I don't know. Sometime soon. I'll update you next week if it's happened or it's forthcoming. But sometimes I got to say, these weather people are alarmists. We mentioned this in the winter episodes. They would be like, it's going to be 20 bajillion meters of snow. No one's going to be able to drive. Stay inside. You know, don't take risks on dangerous roads, on treacherous roads. If anyone knows that video of the Irish weather lady going, don't take risks on treacherous roads. Don't swim in the sea. Google it. Google any combination of any of those words that I said. And it'll come up. It's very funny. But then, after all the hubbub, nothing. There's no risks to be taken on dangerous roads because the roads aren't dangerous, which is obviously a good thing. But in the summer, they'll be like, it's going to be 48 bajillion degrees. And then sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. A couple years ago, it was so hot that like my walls, like I touched the walls in my house and it was like burning hot. My bedroom walls had a fever. It was quite brutal. So stay safe out there. Maybe start buying those air conditioning units sooner rather than later. Because here's the thing. I have to get the AC fixed in my car. And I usually try and wait it out as long as possible. But then it's like, if I'm just going to buy it anyway, like, why am I sweating my ass off in May just to get it in July when I could have bought it in May and then I have it for the whole summer? Because I know anytime I've waited longer, the 1 year I've waited longer, I'll get it in August because it's like boiling hot that weekend. then we're cool as a cucumber for the rest of the year. It's brutal. So yeah, I encourage everybody to prepare now, because again, sometimes what happens is once it starts getting really hot, the prices of these cooling down techniques, methods, skyrocket. So, don't play yourself, okay? We're going to cheat the system this year. Hashtag 2023. And while we do that, I have some very unfortunate news. Now, as many of you don't know, I haven't had a co-host in a while. And today I do. And you may think, why is that unfortunate news? Well, the unfortunate news is that my co-host this week is not human. It is a species of a different sort, of the rodent variety. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, or hopefully, for my sake, not welcome, my new co-host, the mouse that lives in my house. Yes, there was a mouse sighting in my residence. Key words: in, not on, or near, or outside, in my residence. We don't know where it came from. There's, many points of entry. I'm going over it with my security team because I think we might have had some miscommunication. And if that's different from an exterminator. But regardless, yeah, there's a mouse. I'm kind of workshopping names on what to name it. I haven't seen it myself. I do believe it was from a trusted source. Unfortunately, unlike the probably attitude and just overall vibe that I project, I think a lot of people would assume I live on this big, rich, mansion, grounds. I probably have a guest house. I probably sound like I'm a beneficiary of nepotism. Who else would have the time to sit down once a week and talk into their phone to nobody for no profit? This is a non-profit. And today I sound like that, but with the allergies, because it's very nasally today. Forgive me. I'm not sick. It's not COVID, which I missed that phrase. But remember, we always had to say, it's not COVID. It's not COVID. Yeah, I probably sound like some loser, who just doesn't have anything better to do, doesn't have a job, is just sitting around thinking that the world is waiting to hear their thoughts. I guess what is that called? Self-awareness is always good to have. But no, I'm actually not fully that. So I live in a modest home, which means that anywhere between half a centimeter to, 12 feet away, 20 feet away, there could be a mouse. Now, I'm taking comfort in the fact that I feel like mice, I think that's moose. Mice can't go upstairs. So it was seen on the main level. So I'm hoping that means if I stay up, hot air travels up. If I stay up, we're good. Now, I'm sure if anyone was listening to this, they could, rebuttal that and say, no, here's a picture, here's 8 YouTube clips of mouse, walking upstairs. I'm sure they can. If they can, I don't want confirmation on that, because I feel so safe up in my quarters, up in my sleeping quarters, with the probably false sense of security in that the mouse cannot find me there. So normally, as I've been open about before, I will be recording this on a beanbag chair in my basement. Now, I know I said that I don't think mouse can travel up, but I feel like anything can fall down. Whether on purpose or not, you can take a tumble downstairs. And I feel like basements sound like where mice live. So I'm going to be suspending the use of that beanbag chair. Now, everybody, please keep that beanbag chair in your thoughts and prayers. I worry that in a couple weeks when I make the brave decision to venture back down there, I don't come to find that my podcasting chair has been ripped apart. with, like mouse claws, if they have claws, I don't know. Mouse teeth. I know they have those two like big, like prominent teeth in the front, or at least they do on cartoons, which I'm sure is 100% reality. But yeah, so we're gonna keep the chair, in our thoughts and prayers, and I just hope that, we see it on the other side. And if we don't, I will put it on Craigslist openly. I'll put in the ad that, it was bitten by a mouse. Maybe get a rabies shot if you would like. Do I have to get a rabies shot? We talked a couple weeks ago about my tetanus shot and how I was worried that it was evaporating like by the minute. 8.5 years, only 1.5 years left. But do I have to get a rabies shot? Okay, I'm going to do a quick Google. I'm going to ask my Snapchat AI. Let's see here. Okay. AI, by the way, I will never not read it as Al. I'm like, who's Al? Why is everyone mad at Al? Why are people asking Al things? Like, I was very confused. There is a mouse in my house. Do I need a rabies shot? I don't know how to spell rabies. Is it two B's? Rabies. Oh, like the plural of rabies. Question mark. Okay. She's typing. He's typing. They are typing. My AI Al is typing. It's unlikely that you will need a rabies shot if you didn't come into contact with the mouse. However, it's always a good idea to take precautions to avoid coming into contact with wild animals or their droppings. If you're concerned, you should speak with a medical professional. Okay, so that was a word salad. They didn't necessarily say yes or no because I don't think they want to be liable. But, okay. I'm going to not for now. I do fear the droppings. Which is the name of this episode, because I'm looking around and it's like, is it dust or is it mouse? To use our famous censorship tool. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting very nasally. Testing. Okay, fixed it. Okay, so I'm going to hold off on the rabies shot. Oh my gosh, I have an idea. Okay, I'm going on Shark Tank. Or Dragon's Den, or whatever the Canadian one is. There needs to be a service that when you come into contact with like either like a bat or a some sort of wildlife, a dropping, as my Al said, they need to be like, you should be able to Uber Eats a tetanus shot or a rabies shot or any like time sensitive shot. You should totally be allowed to do that. 100%. I think the fact that doesn't exist, the fact that I had to think of that, like if I ever make an invention that is useful and does well and helps society and all that, like we can't be in a good place because you're telling me that no one else could think of that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the brightest light in the crayon box. Just that was a joke. But regardless, if I have to think of it first, I don't know what that says about our future. So yes, please pray for me and this mouse. I really hope it's like a friendly mouse. I hope it's like it's Tom and or Jerry, whatever the mouse was. I've actually never seen that show or that comic or whatever it is. Or hopefully it's like Wallace and Gromit. Was that his name? I hope, because they seemed nice. They didn't seem too like rodent-y. And I have to say, the first couple of days, like walking around my house, I was like, is someone gonna like jump out at me? It felt like a haunted house. The scariest part of haunted houses aren't actually the haunted part. It's the jumping, at least for me. I'm fine. I can watch a scary movie at 1:00 in the morning, fall asleep, and like have peaceful dreams. Like that, the scary part doesn't bother me. It's like the jumping. Like it's like, boo. Like I hate that. So the fact that there could just be like a rat that just like, woo, out of nowhere, brutal. And then even knowing it, it's like a little bit eerie. You know, I'm just like walking around like, ooh, like what's about to happen? You know, I did, I'll be honest, the first day it happened, I did, sit on my dining room table eating chicken strips. They were Costco chicken strips. They were very good. But I just didn't love the idea of having my feet on the ground, which unfortunately, as someone who that, walking is my main mode of transportation. It was just unfortunate. I'm going to have to learn how to fly. These flying cars, we're going to have to speed it up. I wonder if people, like 50 years ago, they probably thought we were going to have flying cars by now. Like, how do we not have that? How has that not happened yet? How do I have a little thing on my Snapchat called Al that I can ask it questions and it can give me responses as if it's a human, but we can't fly our way out of traffic? Also, pro tip, when flying cars do become a thing, I feel like, let's just stay on the ground. Like, there needs to be a group of us that just thinks, you know what, if everyone's in the sky, right? If everyone's flying, there's just going to be so much air traffic. So I'm going to put my four wheels on the pavement.
Catch me on the asphalt, Asphalt, is that right?
The pavement. Because I feel like once the, fancy cars start coming, we're all going to be up there, floating in space. And there's just going to be so much pollution, but congestion. And they're going to have to figure out a whole new, light signals. That just sounds like a crap ton of work. So I'm going to excuse myself from all of that. And I am just going to live amongst the ground. I'm going to touch grass with the regular cars. It's like I remember a couple years ago when my bus that I would normally take to go to school decided that it was going to be a double-decker. There's going to be 2 layers of bus seats. It was the best couple weeks of my life because everyone was going to the top, and I was like, yeah, I'll check that out later. I'm just going to sit on the bottom when it was completely empty. If someone took a snapshot of that bus, it would look like I was the smelliest person in the world, because it was me on one level and everyone else above me. That could be a metaphor for a few different things, and maybe I am the smelliest person in the world. But yeah, it was quite pleasant. Not that I don't like sitting with people on the bus. Actually, the bus is a very interesting place. You can do a lot of anthropological, that's a big word for me, research on a bus. You can see, just kind of what the people are up to. I have to say, I've seen a lot of public drinking on a bus. I've smelt a lot of beer. Even before I knew what beer smelled like, I was like, it smells like wheat. I was like, is someone eating some Shreddies on this bus? And it wasn't Shreddies. It was the wheat of beer. Cream of wheat. Cream of wheat is actually pretty good. I think I've decided, this episode is kind of all over the place, but what episode isn't? I'll get back to the mouse. I think I've decided that breakfast food is my favorite. I love a slush, a sludge. And that is really what breakfast can provide me. It's like oatmeal or kind of, I don't mind a cream of wheat every once in a while. I assume as I reach old age, if I'm lucky enough, I assume maybe that will grow my love for cream of wheat, just because, it's a bit, directed for people who maybe your teeth aren't as strong. Just keeping it real. What else do I love about breakfast food? I love peanut butter, and I think you can really incorporate peanut butter into every aspect of breakfast. Not so much dinner. And, well, if you want to do it and be socially acceptable. Also, side question, I feel like it's very, it's cool to do breakfast for dinner. Where is dinner for breakfast? I'm eating a burger, I'm eating, a souvlaki kebab, I'm eating a steak for breakfast. If you do that, suddenly you're weird. But if you have, French toast for dinner, oh, you're so trendy, you're so quirky, you're edgy. But then suddenly, you take out the filet mignon for, dinner at 9 a.m. and everyone's looking at you weird. I also love smoothies or a smoothie bowl. I love granola. You can really incorporate it anywhere. I love a slivered almond. I love an almond croissant. I love a donut. And really a donut, you can only constitute it as a meal in a breakfast scenario. It obviously can work its way into dessert. What else? What other breakfast foods do I love? I think I would do great in prison. Not a maximum security, that's too much. But I think if I went to accidentally broke the law type of prison where it's more like a wellness retreat, I feel like they would give you more food freedom in terms of what you could eat. Like, I don't think they're just serving you like roadkill or whatever. I think you could probably go to, just like maybe like a continental breakfast more, or they have like packets of oatmeal, or hopefully they have that thing. Not that I'm hoping to go to prison, but if I ever find myself in that scenario, and I have not done anything illegal, in case anyone's wondering, but if I ever find myself in that scenario, like I hope they have the batter machine. Does anyone ever go to a hotel and then there's that machine that dispenses batter, and then you put it into the waffle maker that you have to flip after 30 seconds? I would like to participate in that. What else do I like? Yeah, like a coconut flake. I feel like that is incorporated. Like you can throw that on a smoothie bowl. I also really love fruit. I would say that's one of my favorite foods, which is, can you tell I'm hungry? The only thing that I don't like about fruit is I was essentially scammed into liking it and then bamboozled and told that it was bad for you. Fruit was always the thing. It was like, maybe we shouldn't be eating so many desserts. Let's have some fruit. And at first I'm like, give me a donut. Then I started eating fruit and I was like, this stuff's actually pretty good. So like watermelon, strawberries, mango, pineapple, all of it. And then I start eating like fruit by the bowl and by the like tub. And now everyone's telling me you're eating too much fruit. Fruit's bad for you. It's so much sugar. Well, what the hell do you want me to do? This was my replacement. This is a supplement, an alternative to donuts. So like now that's bad too. I guess everything in moderation, but really, next they're gonna tell me vegetables are bad. Actually, yeah, I would like to opt out of the thing where you turn on the news and it tells you like some food we thought was good for us is actually bad. I don't want to hear it. I'm sure it's true. I believe it. Everything's going to kill us. But I honestly, I'd rather not know, because then stuff will happen and it's like, one study found that, Diet Coke is awful for you. It's like drinking poison. Makes sense. I still drink it. And then another study will be like, no, aspartame is actually healthy. So it's like, why can we do some coordination? Can we please just do a quick meeting and be like, okay, what, listen, because I understand, obviously science is ever evolving, as it should be. The scientists in their lab coats, always studying stuff. We appreciate you. We see you. We love you. My only thing, though, is can we maybe do a meeting every couple years and just be like, okay, what were your notes on this subject? Okay, these were mine. Let's reach a common conclusion. Because if I can go on to google.org and find one article from one university telling me that, whatever is bad, and then find another article from another reputable university telling me that it's good, it's confusing. And I just feel like we really need to we need to start making some conclusions here, Also, while the scientists are together, I have a question because, as you can maybe hear, I'm eating some carrot chips as a alternative to potato chips, and because they're great for dipping. I love dip, a ranch, a hummus, tzatziki, all of it. I'm a fan of it all. But I have been washing my carrots in the bag. I'll open the bag and water them and then shake the bag and then put it out. Now the problem is, am I not thoroughly washing the carrots? If I wash them in the bag in which they were dirty and then keep them in that bag, can you hear a tree fall in the desert or whatever the saying is? You know what I mean? Do I need to then transfer it to a new bag? Because really what I'm trying to do is save the planet. But if I'm going to get some sort of diarrhea from that pursuit, that I'm, you gotta prioritize at some point. We've really flown off the rails. Back to the rat, or the mouse. God forbid a rat. If anyone has any tips, you can let me know. I haven't seen it in a while. Or I haven't seen it. There hasn't been any sightings in a while. And I just feel like if there was a rat near me, I would know. When you walk into a room and you're like, oh, there's someone else in here. They don't necessarily have to be talking or even making noise. You can just kind of feel it. I've always been pretty good at the feeling it part. I'm like a Ghostbuster kind of, but for humans. which I understand is a little less impressive. But I just feel like if there was a mouse, I would know. And if I'm ever going to see it, I feel like I might as well see it while I'm recording the podcast, just to like document it, maybe get 5 minutes of talking from it. We can interview it. It could be my first interview. That would be fun. I'm trying to think. There's not really mouse movies. Obviously, Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is like top of the line, president of all the mouses. But there's not really like a mouse like cartoon so much. Like penguins have happy feet and like Madagascar. Dolphins have Free Willy. Deers have Bambi. Like where's the mouse movie? Maybe there is. I don't know. Pandas have Kung Fu Panda. Snakes have I guess snakes aren't that great either. All bugs and insects have A Bug's World. They have options. Maybe this mouse is the mouse to change the tide. Maybe it's not. We've really gone left. Again, I said this last time, like some episodes are great and some episodes I talk about, rats for 20 minutes while eating carrot chips. And I think I'm accepting of whatever comes through. I see myself as more of a vessel, if anything. I don't know. Again, I don't really plan for these. So sometimes what I'm spewing out is gold, not to brag. And sometimes it's silver or bronze or copper or whatever, actually, speaking of the periodic table, I actually do have something. Every 6 months or so, there's like a Netflix documentary that like exposes something, and we all watch it, and we all care about the cause for like a week or two, and then we all kind of forget about it. I think I have the next topic. What the hell were those Got Milk ads? If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, until about maybe a year ago or so, there was these stupid about 10 years ago or so, there were these stupid commercials where either famous people or not even famous people had milk mustachios, and would talk about how like milk was good for you. Now, this is distinctly before the Non-Dairy Milk Alternative Beverage Association committee started pushing like almond milk, rice milk, oat milk. We talked about a couple weeks ago how rice milk got left behind. Now it's very oat. Coconut is popular, maybe like a blend of the two. But that rise of non-dairy milk really coincided with the end of the Got Milk commercial. Now, my first major question is, how did milk get a publicist before me? How did calcium seek representation in the media? Media representation. I don't understand. Did it get a manager? Did it get an agent? Did it go to some sort of agency for, other compounds? And then second of all, who was funding them? Third of all, what was it a front for? It was 100% a front. I've never known something like stronger in my life. Like, even more so than I believe that there was not a rat in my presence, I believe that those were some sort of something, like something cuckoo was going on. And I want to be the one to expose it. I actually don't want to be the one to expose it. I want to be the one to kind of get the idea out there. And then I would like some sort of credit when the Netflix documentary comes back around and was like, winning awards and stuff. Because that, like, something was weird there. And I think we've all kind of gone along with it, and we're like, oh yeah, Got Milk, those are kind of funny. What was that? What was that? You know who we should ask? My Snapchat Al. Okay, let's see. What were the Got Milk ads about? Let's just see. Here we go, question mark. She's typing. The Got Milk ad, he knows right off the bat. The Got Milk ads were part of a marketing campaign designed to promote the consumption of milk. They featured celebrities and other public figures, they didn't ask me, with milk mustaches, along with the tagline, "Got Milk." The ads were popular in the 1990s and early 2000s. Who funded them? Here we go. Hard-pressing stuff. Do you have to cite AI? Here we go. The Got Milk ads were funded by the California Milk Processor Board, a marketing organization that represents California dairy farmers and milk processors. The campaign was created by the advertising agency Goodby Silverstein and Partners. Stuff I can't read. Was it corrupt? Let's see. There is no evidence to suggest that the Got Milk campaign was corrupt, so yes. It was a marketing campaign designed to promote the consumption of milk. Some people argued that the ads were misleading and that they exaggerated the health benefits of milk. Okay. Well, I think my job here is done. I think Netflix producers, directors, whoever, writers, I know you're striking right now. Oh, actually, this might be my moment. If the writers are striking, that means no new TV is happening, which means everyone's going to be really desperate to put something on their stations. So now's the time to act fast. I need anyone. If you or someone you know worked at the Silverstein and Partners whatever agency of California consumption of milk, reach out to me at podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. If you like what you're hearing, you could also go to podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com and listen to all our other episodes. We're also available on Apple, Spotify, other places, Samsung something or other, not LinkedIn, Linear, I don't know. Just go to the website. You can contact us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and yeah, I would like to speak to all of you. Got milk? We're coming for you, or we're not. I don't want to assume the worst, but it's looking shady. And I think with that, before they come after me, I'm going to leave you with this pressing sentiment. Have a great weekend. Have a great day. Have a great life. Got milk?